And welcome in everyone to this week's episode of Craze's Corner. We have a mock draft episode for you today. Me, Will, and Jeff, we're going to go through a mock draft on Sleeper. We're going to talk about our picks. We're going to kind of break it down, what we're thinking at the time. I believe Will and Jeff are drafting from the 3 and 4 spot, and I'll be drafting from the 12 spot, so you'll get a little bit of information. You'll get to see Will and Jeff's kind of thought process as they look to steal each other's players. So it should definitely be a good show. But first, we have a couple of news topics we're going to get into. The first story, Foster Moreau announced on Twitter that he's in full remission from his Hockenson lymphoma, which is great news. Definitely amazing to hear. Hopefully, he can be out on the football field soon. The second news story is that Hassan Haskins has been charged with aggravated assault by strangulation. This could definitely end his career in Tennessee. He hasn't been cut yet, but they did just draft Tajay Spears, so there's a chance that Haskins doesn't really see any playtime even if he stays on the team. And the third news story is that Brock Purdy is likely to be back by week 1. Data strongly suggests a rapid return to top form. So it's an interesting conversation when you're looking at this quarterback group that they have for the 49ers. Is it going to be Brock Purdy if he's healthy? I can't see a situation where you bench Brock Purdy. Is it going to be Trey Lance, or even Sam Darnold's name has been thrown around as possibly the QB2 going into the season if Purdy's healthy? It's quite a mess, but I want to know who you guys think should be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. You can let us know using the MEedia App. The MEedia App is a virtual press conferencing app that will allow you to host a virtual press conference from your phone and post it to any social media platform you want, including Threads. Once that all gets set up, you'll be able to go on to the new app Threads. You'll be able to go through Media, post the app to Threads, to Instagram, to Twitter if you still want to use that, to any platform that you would like. And you can let us know if you think Brock Purdy is going to be starting, or maybe it'll be Sam Darnold or Trey Lance. You can check it out in the Google Play or the App Store. And now let's welcome in our guests, Jeff and Will. Welcome in, guys. How are we doing?
Doing good, Jeff. There you go, Jeff. You unmuted. There you go.
Exactly.
How about pull it that way? There we go.
There we go. You guys think it's going to be a Brock Purdy starting week 1 for the 49ers? Or you think they'll go a different direction? Who do you think it'll be, Will? You're shaking your head down there.
I think it's Darnold or Trey Lance. Probably 80% Darnold. I just think they're not going to if he's that close to being able to return, why would you risk the injury setback in week 1? I think the 49ers maybe rest him until week 3 or 4. I don't know when their bye is. I don't have their schedule in front of me. But I think they're going to do a couple of weeks of making sure he's 100% healthy, because that injury is no joke. That's not like maybe an ACL or something like that. I mean, how many times has a quarterback in the NFL had Tommy John surgery? And the way he throws the ball, if I was the 49ers, I would rather miss a couple games early in the season and then bring him on than risk it and lose him for a couple of years.
Yeah, definitely be safer too. But if you put Sam Darnold in and all of a sudden Sam Darnold looks, like Brock Purdy did last year, then I guess you just run with Sam Darnold.
But it's a great problem, right? Because what a blessing to be the 49ers. If Darnold looks good in their system and you have Lance and Purdy, you're picking up a first-round pick at some point during the year. Mm-hmm. You're gonna trade somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, what do you think before we get into our mock draft? Who do you think is going to be their starting quarterback?
Give a hell about who's going to be the – no,
just kidding.
That's the Seahawks smart coming out of me. I honestly think it's going to be possibly Trey Lance. I still think they want to use the running component, which Donald can do to some extent, but I believe they want to see what they have in him. And possibly, like Will was saying, to showcase him, to possibly get rid of him and then keep Darnold and Purdy. So we'll see.
We
Zach, don't
will
you think,
definitely see.
on
We
that
are
real
going to
quick,
be.
Zach, don't you think it depends on where Purdy is in preseason? If he's able to take reps in training camp and preseason, then I think it's a different discussion. But if he's not able to really practice until maybe week 2 or 3 of the preseason, I just have a hard time seeing him start.
Yeah, if he doesn't play in the first couple preseason games, then I think it probably will be Darnold. But he's been throwing now, so maybe he will be ready for the preseason, in which case then I think Purdy is definitely going to be the starter. But we're going to do a mock draft today. Like I said, I believe it is a 13-round mock. No defenses, no kickers, because we don't do that stuff here. So we're going to be drafting all the skill players, 2 flex, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback, and a couple bench spots.
Is this redraft or
this is redraft? Yeah.
Okay.
Redraft here. So just, this is going to be kind of, come August. Hopefully you're not drafting till August, but, we can start to see where some values are going to be. So I'm going to start the draft here. It's going to give everyone a little notification.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Travis Kelce at the 102. That is definitely an interesting.
Wow.
Are you really going to pass on Christian McCaffrey?
Nope.
There you go.
Just because I know Zach wants him.
I'm never getting Christian McCaffrey all the way back there.
Will, you took Jamar Chase?
I'll take it.
Did you not hear what I said last show?
I know what you said. Look, Gino.
Okay.
All right, so we had a couple picks. It was Justin Jefferson first overall, and then Travis Kelce. Christian McCaffrey went third. To Jeff. Will took Jamar Chase, who we talked about on last week's episode as a possible bust. And then we saw Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, and CeeDee Lamb. I want to talk a little bit about your picks here. Jeff, you took Christian McCaffrey at the 103. Had you have been in the 2 slot, would you have taken Christian McCaffrey as well? Or would you have taken Travis Kelce?
I probably would have taken McCaffrey, but I did have Travis Kelce as an option. I was looking at both of those over Austin Eckler. So I think that's the main point to make. And Jamar Chase, who for some reason...
Jamar Chase.
What's that?
You did consider Jamar Chase.
No, I said over. I mean, just looking at where Sleeper has him as the number 3, the third pick in the draft. So, which, like I said, that's a little bit high for my blood, but I don't know.
Can we talk about how Sleeper took Bijan Robinson at 7?
Yeah, I think that's a little too high.
Yeah.
They're running back off the board?
Honestly, I don't think 7, 8, 9. I think 7, 8, 9 are overvalued.
Yep.
Yeah, I chose the 12 spot here because I kind of like what I can get at the 12 spot. I feel like I either want to be early or at the turn, because when you're sitting there in the middle there, you're like, where is the value? Bijan, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb. Like, I don't think any of those are value picks.
So, Zach, who would you have took at 7?
I'm going to auto pick Big Ball's fantasy pick here before I say, just in case, but because he obviously doesn't seem to be on. But I would have taken Saquon at 7.
Yeah, I would have took Saquon too at 7.
I would have taken Saquon if he was still here for me.
Yeah.
So Saquon goes off the board at 11. This leaves me at the turn here, looking at the guys that are still available. I know the first guy I most definitely want to take, and that's going to be Nick Chubb here. Mm-hmm. I think Nick Chubb definitely has a chance to be one of, if not, the top running back in fantasy this season. He's going to get the passing work that he has not really had when Kareem Hunt was there. Now with Deshaun Watson, Chubb's going to get that. When Watson was in the games for the end of last season, running backs were getting about a 22% target share. if Nick Chubb can get any more of that work, Nick Chubb's going to be amazing. So I'm definitely taking Nick Chubb there. And then I do kind of like to go running back at the turn here. There is a little bit of value still left as wide receivers. Maybe go Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams. Looking at the running back position, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, who was really good last year. And then, you get into the Pollards, Breece Hall. I was really hoping I was going to get Saquon. Saquon's not there, so I do think I'm going to go for a guy who was the RB1 last year. Not last year, but a couple years ago. I'm going to take Derrick Henry.
Oh.
Going big. I'm going to see how it turns out. I was debating Jacobs there.
You should have took Jacobs.
I was debating Jacobs there. I'm just not sure how that offense looks with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's different, but I think Henry's going to get a lot of work in the running game, and to be able to pair Chubb and Henry are two of the best pure runners.
That is true.
You don't see me taking Henry too often, but I'm going to try it out here and see if I can get some good running back depth later, just in case. But I feel like Chubb's a pretty safe pick here. We're going to let the CPU auto. There you go. Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Josh Allen off the board. Zach also does not appear to be here, so we're going to let it go.
Oh, boo.
Garrett Wilson,
boo.
Patrick Mahomes. Will, you're on the clock. What are you looking at here after going Chase in round 1?
I wanted Wilson or Mahomes, so now I'm irritated. I don't want Amon-Ra St. Brown. The question is, do I take Jalen Waddle? Or do I take Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, you got a quarterback there. You could start 2 wide receivers.
I mean,
wide receiver 2.
How did Josh Allen go 2-6?
I have no idea. He's supposed to be the number one quarterback every single season. Not for me. I'm not taking a quarterback in the second round here. I think it's a little early for me.
So, looking at the running backs, it's Pollard, it's Hall, it's Stevenson, who I'm not touching under any circumstances.
Mm-mm. There's no value at the running back.
No, there's no value. So the question is wide receiver.
Yeah.
Or tight end. But I don't even see value at tight end.
No, as a wide receiver, your quarterback there if you want Hurts.
No. I'm going to go with Waddle.
There you go. Waddle's off the board. Jeff's on the clock. Jeff, you have 2 picks before Will gets to pick again, so you can kind of talk through your pick. Maybe there's 2 guys you want. You want to play the ADP game. Talk us through this pick. You got Christian McCaffrey in the first round. What are you thinking?
I'm going to do something that's controversial here.
Kicker.
I'm going with the rookie here that I think might get the ball there a lot.
Wow.
Yep.
Jahmyr Gibbs in the second round, and then it went Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tony Pollard, Jalen Hurts, and Chris Olave, who I probably would have considered at Will's pick there.
And now I got to put you guys on hold.
Wow.
He took Kenneth Walker and then left because he knew that was a terrible pick. I'm not touching Kenneth Walker here. Will, you're on the clock. 2 wide receivers already. What are you thinking here?
I'm tripling down on wide receivers. I'm not going to go Higgins, though.
Not going to go Higgins?
I'm going to go with Devontae Smith.
You like those Alabama wide receivers there with Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith?
I think, like you said, Zach, there's running back depth later in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to get as many points out of my receiving game as I can early in this.
Yeah, absolutely. You've gone 3 wide receivers, and Jeff has gone 3 running backs. So we'll be able to kind of tell at the end of this draft whether we like the robust RB at the 3-4 spot, or if we like the no RB strategy here. Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Harris, Mark Andrews, Travis Etienne, Breece Hall, T. Higgins, and DK Metcalf went off the board. At the quarterback position, you're kind of looking at Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields here. Not in love with that. At the running back position, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, J.K. Dobbins, Dameon Pierce. Not really in love with that. You also have Alexander Mattison sitting there, which is a pick that I would like to pair with Derrick Henry just in case, an injury happens. So I think I will go with Alexander Mattison as one of my picks here.
Okay.
And then
we on the same mindset, man. I was actually going to reach and take Alexander Mattison earlier over Kenneth Walker, but I was like, I can't do that. I got to stay true to at least one Seahawk. So,
yeah, you got your Seahawk there.
So Zach
might have been the wrong one. I think I probably went with DK, but
you got Zach, you got a long wait after this pick. So, any pressure to get a quarterback?
No pressure to get a quarterback to me. You got Burrow, Jackson, Fields, Herbert, and Lawrence, who are probably, the best options available. But then you get near, 10 more quarterbacks, and you got guys like Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, who are guys that I think can still put up points on a week-to-week basis. So I personally feel no pressure to get a quarterback here, but I feel lots of pressure to get one of these wide receivers. Looking at this wide receiver position here, after going 3 running backs like Jeff and I have, Deebo Samuel is the top guy according to Sleeper's ADP. I will not be making that selection. I can tell you that. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, just reading off who they have here. I'm looking at it. I do like one of these guys a little bit more than consensus.
Ridley.
And exactly.
I knew it, dude. I've known you long enough to know you were going Calvin Ridley there.
Yep. As my wide receiver 1, it's a little scary, but I think I can make up for some depth later on.
Actually, I think that's a great pick in the 4th round.
Yeah, I think beginning of the 4th, Calvin Ridley is a good pick there. Then we got the 2 quarterbacks off the board, Aaron Jones, Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, DeAndre Hopkins, J.K. Dobbins, and Will is on the board. Will, you've gone 3 wide receivers. Are you looking at a different position here, or are you going to maybe – Will.
Vikings are going to run 2 tight end set. They're switching their base offense. 2 tight end set. I'm telling you right now, TJ Hockenson, big year.
Big year for TJ Hockenson, continuing the no RB strategy. Jeff, are you looking at starting 4 running backs here, or are you going to go a different direction with this pick?
It's a good question. Good question. I still think there's some guys out there as far as running backs are concerned, which is a little surprising. But I do think I need to get a receiver and one that is standing out to me that I think may have a decent year is Scary Terry. So I'm going to go ahead and take him there.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin's a good value pick there. Joe Mixon, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, and Justin Fields off the boards. You don't have a quarterback, a tight end, and you also don't have a second wide receiver. Which area are you looking at here with a long wait till your next pick?
There are some other quarterbacks that I believe are still out there that I can probably pick up a little later. But I kind of want to do something that you might say something about there, Zach. So I'm going to go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence and just see what happens.
Thank you. I'm going to double down. Oh, wait, you want to talk first?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit here. I just, Trevor Lawrence, I was definitely all in on him last year. I called him being a top 10 quarterback from the beginning of last offseason, and he was. I don't know if I can get behind him in the 5th round, though. That's a little higher for a quarterback who doesn't run that often.
Well, I was looking at Herbert, but last year was kind of a letdown, a big letdown. And with the fact, I don't really think his head coach is really an offensive-minded head coach, and the fact that his wide receivers get hurt quite often, even though they've got, the rookie Quentin Jefferson, I just still don't know what he brings hands-wise to this group. So that's why I went with Trevor Lawrence over Herbert. So just in case anybody was just like, dude, how could you take him over Herbert? That is the thinking behind this.
Yeah, I think you make that argument. Kellen Moore going to San Diego, I think does, or going to LA. I mean, I think does make a little bit of a difference. But we'll see how that offense looks. Will, you're on the clock. What are you looking at here?
So is this a flex league where I can play 2 tight ends?
It is. That is correct.
All right, George Kittle, welcome to the franchise.
2 tight ends.
Oh.
No running backs. No quarterback.
Who needs running backs?
Will has definitely started this draft off. He's going full in on this strategy here. Dameon Pierce, Christian Watson, DJ Moore, Justin Herbert, Dalvin Cook.
Look.
I really hope the computer doesn't take who I want here.
Cam Akers. He's either taking 8. I don't know. You got 3 running backs already. Are you really going to go 4?
I absolutely am if Miles Sanders is still there.
That's what I was going to say. If Miles Sanders is there.
If Miles Sanders is there, I'm taking my boy. And he is.
Oh!
Let's go. I got 4 starting running backs. And I think there's a chance for all of them to finish in the top 12. I will take that. Now I need to go back to the wide receiver room here because after taking 4 starting running backs, again, I can start 4 running backs in this league because it is 2 flex.
So wide receivers, you got Jeudy, Pittman, Brown, Ayuk, Williams, Lockett, Kirk, Evans, Deontay Johnson, just off the sleeper rankings. What you doing, Zach?
Well, I'm looking. I don't want Pittman because I think Anthony Richardson is going to start all year. Marquise Brown is their number 1 wide receiver there in Arizona. Is Kyler Murray going to be their starting quarterback? I'm not sure. Brandon Ayuk is the best talent at wide receiver they have there, but I don't know if the targets are going to be consistent enough. To me, it's between Jerry Jeudy and Marquise Brown. Do I think Russell Wilson, Sean Payton can, revamp this offense to make Jerry Jeudy a valuable fantasy asset? I just don't know. I think I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy, though, just on the hopes that he is the wide receiver 1 for Russell Wilson. We got Gunner, Pitts, Akers, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown went, and so did Michael Pittman. Will, you're back on Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle on your team. Are you worried about having 2 49ers?
No. I'm stacking wide receivers and tight ends. Because I think the running back position is such a crap show this year that you can take flyers late in the draft or you'll be able to trade. People are overvaluing running back. The fact that Dalvin Cook is still a free agent, tells me everything I need to know about the NFL this year.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Jeff, what are you thinking here? You've already got 3 running backs. You have 1 wide receiver and a quarterback. What are you
Don't let Lockett get to me, Jeff. I'm just letting you know. Don't let Lockett get to me.
Deontay Johnson. Wow. What are you looking at here, Jeff? You took Deontay Johnson.
Well, my backup is somebody that was just taken from me.
Javonte Williams?
No. I was going to try to get Darren Waller coming back. That kind of messed me up there. So there's not too many other
Irv Smith.
guys I can look at.
I'm pretty sure JSN and Tyler
Smith.
Lockett are right there for you, man. Both of them.
He is. I see. I'm still just looking around here, trying to see who to get.
Mike Evans.
Mike Old Man Evans.
That is a name.
That is
definitely
a name. But I'm going to go with. It's getting interesting.
JSN.
Nope.
Tyler Burks.
Hell no. I'm going to go with another Seahawk.
Oh, Tyler Lockett. Would he have been your pick there, Will?
No. I got enough wide receivers right now.
You do.
You're finally going to take a running back here, or you're going to go quarterback first?
Oh, Pacheco.
I like Pacheco. He's going to get me catches. I want people who are going to catch the ball. NFL's turned into a passing league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
people still taking David Montgomery.
I don't like Lion players. I don't trust the Lions, man. When the Lions consistently win and they're using their personnel right, it's too many people. Like this reason why you took Gibbs in the second round. I can see you may want to get Montgomery to hedge your bet, but I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after you, there was a run on wide receiver, which I was kind of hoping wouldn't happen. I was hoping for a Mike Evans, Treylon Burks, Jordan Addison. At this pick, I do need wide receiver help.
Osborne.
Looking at the guys who are currently available, I think Jahan Dotson is definitely going to be one of the guys I pick here. He's got a chance to be, a good wide receiver 2 there in Washington, possibly even a wide receiver 1. So I'm going to take Dotson. And looking at the rest of the guys, Kadarius Toney, not really excited about him. Cooks, Quentin Johnston, Juju, Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers, Cortland Sutton, Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman. Like, none of those guys are really jumping out at me. Like, I got to have these guys at this pick. I still need tight end. I still need a quarterback. Quarterbacks available.
Dak, baby. Dak.
Deshaun Watson, Tua. Nothing really jumping out at me there. Tight ends, Freiermuth, Evan Ingram, David Njoku. Oh, there are some names out there for sure. I think I'm going to take my shot at the tight end position. If it works out, I think it'll be very good this season. And I'm going to go with David Njoku, who will have Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. See what kind of wide receivers get back to me. And I'm not super in love with the pick, but at that point, I didn't really see any amazing value. Will, what are you looking at here?
Oh, I'm going quarterback.
Taking Deshaun Watson, who will be throwing the ball to David Njoku for lots of touchdowns, hopefully.
Wow.
Was there any debate for you there instead of taking Watson and pairing Waddle and Tua together?
I did think about Tua, but being married to an ER doctor, I'm very aware of concussions. And Tua, the way he had his 2 last year, I'm hesitant to get on with Tua until he shows he can make it through a whole season.
That's fair. I think there's definitely a much higher risk there with Tua and the injuries.
Jeff, so if this is going to be my quarterback at this point in the draft, I feel I have to pick the right guy.
Yeah. Evan Ingram, Jeff, you went for the tight end. You think Evan Ingram will be just as good as he was last year with the addition of Calvin Ridley?
I do. I do. He's still a guy that is a very big target for my quarterback. So, and just in case my quarterback, speaking of him, starts having some issues, I think I'm just going to back up right there and
take that.
I can't believe Dak is still there. So I'm going to play matchups.
And I'm going to take the high risk and go to it.
There it is.
There you go. 2 quarterbacks already for both of you, and I'm sitting here with.
And look, I got 2 running quarterbacks, so I'm weak at running back right now. But I think these quarterbacks give me the rushing touchdowns I would miss otherwise.
So you guys both have 2 quarterbacks. I have no quarterbacks, and I can tell you I'm not taking one here.
There's one out there that's very interesting that he's still there.
There's a couple out there that I think, next round I'll definitely be taking one.
Russell, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young.
If Russ comes back to me
man.
on the next turn, I will be taking Russell Wilson. If he doesn't come back to me, I'll only be taking him because I have Jeudy. So if I can get that stack going and it turns out well, okay. If not, I'll just drop Russ and stream quarterbacks. You guys know me pretty well. There's this one guy left on the board that I'm a massive fan of. I don't know if you guys want to venture out any guesses here of a guy who's on the board that I am in love with, that I am definitely going to take here.
Daniel Jones.
I get it.
I know. Quarterback.
Not quite. I'm gonna take Jameson Williams.
Oh yeah,
I knew that. Yes, out 6 games, which I'm very disappointed about.
I don't really need him to start the first 6 games. Hopefully,
very true.
Once he comes back, I think he can help out. I think he can help out my receiving core. Will's already taken 2 tight ends, and I think I'm going to follow him in that route here. I'm going to go for, a guy that I think is probably got the highest upside of any player.
Dalton Kincaid.
Any player left on the board, I am going to take Dalton Kincaid.
I knew it.
I think he's got high upside at the tight end position this year. Could be, the number 1 target in the red zone for Josh Allen. I will take it. There you go. Anthony Richardson, Aaron Rodgers off the board. 2 more quarterbacks. Odell, Cole Kmet, Will, you're back up. You just took 2 quarterbacks. Your team is pretty much filled out except for the running back position. We got 4 more rounds here. Who are you looking at drafting? Elijah Mitchell.
It's very, very interesting that someone has taken Khalil Herbert over D'Onta Foreman, who is in the RB1 position right now. So just by chance that he is still the RB1, and it looks like he was the last RB1 on the board, I figured I would go ahead and take him.
Yeah, I don't know. Jared McKinnon's still there. He could be the RB1 for all you know. But yeah, I think Foreman, Damian Harris, team 1 just took there. I think is also another interesting name in the 10th, 11th round. If you need a running back, I think Harris could be the goal line back for Buffalo. It could be overall a really good setup for him. And then Chigakonkwo went at tight end there too. Jeff, you're on the clock. Your team is filled out. You're just looking to add some bench spots here. What direction are you looking?
Oh, my gosh. This guy has been making some noise in camp. Hold on to your hats.
Wide receiver. Kansas City Chiefs.
Nope.
Oh.
I had to do
it. Dude, you're a closet Packer fan, man. You are such a closet Packer. Are you traumatized by the Packers beating the Seahawks? Are you? I'm just.
Oh my.
Dude. Okay.
You were so in on Dobbs last year too, and are you going to be in on him this year too? Is he going to be on all your teams again?
Yep.
We should have guessed that, Will. We should have guessed he was going to take Romeo Dobbs.
Might
You
as
need a
well.
running back here, probably will, right? Is that the direction
No.
you're going?
No.
No. Adam Thielen.
I think he's a safety net. I think he's a risk in the late rounds.
Gino. Somebody took my man Gino.
That they did. I think Adam Thielen can be that safety net for you. Jacoby Myers went off the board one spot before me. He would have been a name I would have been looking at for my pick. Other than Russell Wilson, I told you guys if he got here to me, I was going to take Russell Wilson. I might as well try and pair him with Jeudy if I can get that stack going. The quarterbacks that are left, Jared Goff, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray. We don't know what Kyler Murray's health is going to look like. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, they're all rookies. So I think I'm happy with Russell Wilson there. Worst comes to worst, I'll stream quarterbacks after this week. And then with my second pick here, I have 4 wide receivers, 4 running backs, 2 tight ends, and a quarterback. I'm looking to probably fill up my roster with 1 more running back, 1 more wide receiver. I look at the running back room. There's really only 1 guy I like left there that I think can, give me some very valuable minutes at the wide receiver position. I think that there's a couple guys like, they could boom. They could hit for me. There's 1 guy I really hope gets back to me for my last pick. And I think he will because he's much lower on the draft board than that. So I think I'm going to go running back here. I'm going to take Devin Singletary, who's got the opportunity to be, he could outperform Dameon Pierce this year, and he could be the running back there for the Houston Texans.
Oh, Dulcich is a good pick.
Dulcich definitely is a good pick. Will, you're up on the clock again. Are you going to look running back with your last 2 picks here? Try and fill out your team. You've only got 2 so far. Or are you going to continue?
I'm going with Sky Moore. I'm taking risk. Sky Moore.
Snatched him out of my hands.
Were you going Sky Moore?
I was. He snatched him out of my hands.
Wow.
Uh-huh. All right.
Your team's pretty balanced, Jeff. You have 4 running backs and 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 quarterbacks. What are you thinking?
I'm trying to think, man. This is when I just start digging, for some possible gold.
Don't go digging too far. You're gonna find my guy.
There's a guy. You just don't know.
You're describing my guy right now. You're describing my guy. Don't take him, Jeff.
Gosh darn it. I don't know if this guy will do anything. How many running backs?
Hey, I'm stepping away for 1 second, guys.
All right.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, you got 2 picks before we get to pick again, so you can talk through if you're debating between 2 guys or.
Man, there are a couple
more.
of guys.
You got 2 more picks left, so
there are a couple of guys. I'm looking at some guys that are rookies. I'm looking at some guys that are. We don't know what he's going to do or who he's going to be. I'm looking at some guys that didn't get a chance to play, but really stood out when they did get a chance to play. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I'm going to do something controversial just because I don't know where this guy is, what's going to happen with him, but he has dropped kind of from fallen from grace, if you will.
We're taking Ezekiel Elliott? I don't know. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde. And then, Raheem Mostert, Sam Laporta went. Jeff's back on the clock. Are you going to take another running back right from Will here? He's only got 2 running backs. So you'd have to assume Will's going running back with his last pick.
Really nobody else that I'm looking for here.
It's time you take your shot,
Take Bryce Young, Jeff. Do it. Take Bryce Young.
You already got 2 quarterbacks. Might as well make it 3.
Make it 3, huh?
Or you could maybe look to back up your injury-prone tight end there. That might be a solid option there too.
There's a couple good sleepers on this board.
I got one that's I don't know, 20, 30 picks out that I'm gonna take.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some other guys there, but I'm hoping this guy. I like taking chances when we don't know who the number one wide receiver may be. There's a guy that's, excuse me, a little bit long in the tooth. This team really doesn't have a whole lot, except they do have a rookie quarterback. I'm hoping this guy shows up and explodes.
That was my guy, Jeff. That was my guy.
I kept the suspense for you, Zach. I knew it was when I took Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I thought it would be hilarious. Get to wait and take him when he comes back around. There you go.
Yeah, I'm in on John Mechie this year. He was, great talent coming out of Alabama last year. He is now good to go. And I think you don't know who the number one wide receiver is going to be there in Houston. I was really hoping to get John Mechie with my last pick here. Now I got to go back to the drawing board and look at all these guys left while Will's on the clock here. Will, what are you thinking? Are you finally going to take another running back?
I am, and I'm going to take someone. I'm not sure. I'm going to take someone because I think it's going to pan out, and at the 13th round, I'm going to take a risk. I'm telling you, in minicamp, he was the clear. He's the clear number 2 now.
Really?
Clear number 2.
Not the kid they drafted, huh?
Not Chandler. Everybody's shocked. Clear number 2.
Wow.
All right, I'm back on the clock. I have zero idea what I'm doing. I was so set on getting John Mechie here. This goes to show you always need to have a backup pick, even when the guy you want's like 3 rounds.
You got to take Bryce Young.
I can't. I don't want to take Bryce Young.
Jordan Love.
With my last pick here, in drafts, I like to take
Derrick
a guy
Carr.
who I'm gonna know week 1 whether or not I have something or if I can move on from them. Which is why I like John Mechie. I think week 1 we'll be able to tell, is he going to be a focal point of this offense, or is he just going to be a guy that they drafted last year that they're just going to move on from?
Okay, in all seriousness, KJ Osborne, week 1, you'll know what his role in the Viking offense is. There'll be 2 tight ends. They will be 2 tight ends, single back, JJ on the left.
Yeah. I found my guy.
And Jordan Mattison.
What?
I said, and Jordan Mattison.
But you'll kind of know what Jordan Addison's role. Remember, he hasn't been healthy. Has not practiced once.
With rookie wide receivers, they can get more and more involved as the season goes on.
Yep.
I'm going to take a guy who's a wide receiver 2 on his team. They don't really have anything. There's the number 1 wide receiver for sure on this team. Then there's the number 2, and then after that, it's kind of a mess. Their tight end is pretty good. Their quarterback is the biggest question on this team, and that's really what I want to see, is if this quarterback comes out looking okay week 1. I think
the Giant.
I think I could have a good pick here, and Jefferson.
Okay.
I think at the end of a draft, if you can get Van Jefferson, I think you're pretty solid there. So we're gonna go over everyone's teams here quickly. Each of us will go run through our team, talk about picks we really like, maybe a pick we wish we did differently. I'm gonna start. I got Russell Wilson as my quarterback in the 11th round. My running backs: Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Alexander Mattison, Miles Sanders, and Devin Singletary. I think that's a pretty good 5 running backs.
You're very solid on running backs.
Wide receivers are where it gets a little more questionable. Calvin Ridley, question marks on he hasn't played in a while. Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson is the question mark there. Jahan Dotson, who's going to be throwing to him. Jameson Williams suspended for 6 weeks. And Van Jefferson, I think, is he's possibly the safest of the wide receivers I drafted. I think Van Jefferson is going to see 6 to 7 targets a week. And then tight end, I think I went high upside with David Njoku and Dalton Kincaid. I'm overall pretty happy with my team. I think I got the running backs for sure. The wide receivers are definitely questionable, but when you go running back heavy, the wide receivers aren't going to feel as good. I was really hoping for Mechie there. I was hoping, maybe a couple guys were going to fall to me at the wide receiver position, like Mike Evans, Treylon Burks, Jordan Addison, in the end of the 7th round. Jacoby Myers went just before me in the 11th round, which I was a little bit upset about as well. But overall, I'm fairly happy with my draft. Jeff, you want to just read through your team, say what you're happy about, what you're not happy about?
Yeah, I'm very happy with the balance that I have. And I'm happy with the balance that I have, even though I did some reaching, did some interesting drafting here. I'm very happy with the balance that I have at the running back position. The reason I went with Jahmyr Gibbs, I actually think this kid is going. I think they have a lot of plans for him, and I'm just thinking about David Montgomery possibly being injury prone still, and I think this kid, they're gonna everything that they wanted to do with DeAndre Swift. I think they're going to do with him and more. So I believe he is going to possibly be an every week starter, which balances with Kenneth Walker being off and on. Can't go wrong with. I got 2 running backs who are going to both receive carries and catch passes out of the backfield, hands down with those 2. And then I think I got some, different upside with Deonta Foreman. Even though the Bears, you never know who's going to be running the ball. It could be their quarterback that's getting a lot of the goal line carries. But I think this guy right now is in that RB1 slot. And to get him when I did towards the end of the draft is a win. Again, my receivers, I got guys that get high target volumes. So that's why I went with those guys there. Maybe not as much as getting actual touchdowns, but I still think Deontay Johnson is going to get targets. Let's just hope he's catching them and not dropping them. Scary Terry, he has proved that he's, quarterback proof. Tyler Lockett, he's been producing for years. Romeo Doubs, I think, is going to shock some people this year. I think everybody's still thinking Christian Watson. I think Romeo Doubs is going to prove to be the number 1 wide receiver in that group this year. And I got 2 solid quarterbacks. So I've got a very solid team. Is this a team that I would have drafted in an actual league? Probably not. But I wanted to take some risks. And, as far as besides, I would say maybe Zach and maybe Big Baller, my running backs group has to be one of the top in this whole draft. So I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I think you definitely have the running backs there. In PPR, it's especially important when you have Christian McCaffrey and Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to get those targets. Not in love with the Kenneth Walker pick. I think that's a little early for me, but I guess, Seahawks fan, it's all right. I think it's definitely overall, a pretty decent team. Will, you went no running back, and you really took that to heart with this team. How are you feeling with the outcome?
Look, I think I have assets. And I think there's teams on this draft board, if this is the way the draft really went, they would be thinking, I don't have in a PPR, I don't have receptions. I like my guys. I like Pacheco. He's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. I like having quarterbacks that are going to make up for the rushing touchdowns for me. I'm, of course, the number 2 running back. Okay. It's going to be a weakness for me. But the one thing I think you play fantasy football long enough, the odds of you getting a full roster without a weakness is very slim. The question is do you position yourself to maybe pick that up with a trade? So if I could trade one of my tight ends and a quarterback or tight end and a wide receiver for Dalvin Cook, yeah, I'll do it. I think it's this with running backs continuing to be devalued in the NFL. I think it's important to do best player available whenever you can get. And so when I look like it, when I took the second tight end with Kittle, I could have took Lawrence or Fields, but okay, Goodwin, Waller, no, over Kittle, no, Kamara, that's a question mark. Mm-hmm. So maybe the only player I regret when I took Kittle's was Akers. Because I'm still not sure what the Rams are going to do. And I almost took Akers over Kittle. But you don't know what the Rams are doing. You don't know what Akers' relationship is with the front office and the head coach. So can I really count on him to deliver? When I look at this draft board and the way the draft went, there's nobody of more value when I took Kittle after he was picked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think especially you have to know your league, and if you can start 2 tight ends.
Right. So if I would have took a running back there, it would have been a reach.
I think Miles Sanders would have been a fantastic pick for you there. I fully believe Miles Sanders can be a top 15 back.
He can be, but Kittle's is going to be a top 3 tight end.
Yeah, I just think.
And a point per reception league. Oh. With the confusion at quarterback, who's a quarterback's best friend?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Okay, defenses are going to
that's my thing.
Defenses are going to key on him. I hate Kittle's numbers. Kittle's going to end up being the wide receiver number 1 on this team.
If Purdy is a quarterback,
Christian McCaffrey has more targets and more receptions, I think.
I said wide receiver number 1, not running back number 1.
What?
So at the round I got him.
But he's not a wide receiver either.
No, but he's going to end up getting the most receptions outside the running back position.
Outside of the running back position, maybe. But I think, Christian McCaffrey will get his targets.
Yeah.
Kittle will get his. At
that point in the draft, I didn't take him in the first, second, third round. At that point in the draft, looking at the rest of the draft board available, Miles Sanders might pan out, but he's not a sure thing. Kittle was the most sure thing on that draft. Oh.
Miles Sanders, to me, at the beginning of the 4th round, is a good pick.
I'd take Kittle every time.
Yes, I'm fully confident that Miles Sanders will be acclimated in his offense. He has familiarities with the head coach, his running back coach. He knows all the places, and a rookie quarterback's best friend is the running back when it comes to drop-off passes. The coach came out and said, we want to get you 50 receptions like you had your rookie year.
And every defense is going to play 8 in the box because of Bryce Young's height. And until Bryce Young proves that he can beat people down the field, they're going to play short.
Yeah, I think he will be able to get the ball down the field. We saw in Alabama, it's not like he doesn't have a deep ball. So I think they can do that. They have, some speed at the wide receiver position and some height at the wide receiver position that they can make it work. We'll see what the offense looks like. Obviously, I'm high on the Panthers. But I think this was overall a good draft. We got to see a little bit of everything. I drafted from the turn. Will went no RB, and Jeff went RB heavy at the 3 spots. You can kind of look at their teams there. Just look at them, see which one you prefer. It's tough. Prefer my running backs, but Kenneth Walker kind of ruined that team for me. I didn't take any running backs. So. I don't know. It's tough. It is most definitely tough to pick between the two. But like we said, we're going to end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the mock draft. We'll be back next week with some more content for you. Last week we did guys we didn't like at their current ADPs. The week before that, we did guys we liked at their ADPs. You can go back and watch those as well. We talked about a couple of those players here. We also brought up Cordell Patterson a couple of times on this show, so make sure you had your drinks for that drinking game we invented last week. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks, Jeff and Will, for joining. And we'll see you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, thank you, Jack.